Applications for jobless benefits slipped as Superstorm Sandy distorted the weekly picture, while the U.S. trade deficit dropped more than expected as exports hit a record high, according to government data. Jobless claims fell to 355,000 for the week, a drop of 8,000 against last week's unrevised number of 363,000. That was below the median forecast in a Reuters poll of 370,000. Elsewhere, the U.S. trade deficit narrowed in September as exports increased, suggesting the economy expanded more than previously believed in the third quarter. The seasonally adjusted monthly trade gap fell to $41.55 billion, the smallest deficit since December 2010, the Commerce Department said on Thursday. Analysts were expecting the trade gap would widen to $45.0 billion. Read more. U.S. economy has wonderful upside, AT&T CEO. The reading suggests exports did more to boost economic growth in the third quarter than previously believed. Gross domestic product expanded 2.0% in the period, according to initial estimates. U.S. exports rose 3.1% in September, the biggest increase in more than a year despite the debt crisis in Europe that has weighed on the global economy. Exports to the European Union were flat compared to the prior month, although the figures were not adjusted for seasonal swings. Unadjusted exports to major trade partners Canada and Mexico fell in the same period. Read more. Fixing fiscal cliff will mean higher taxes. Gross U.S. imports rose 1.5% in September when seasonally adjusted. The trade deficit with China expanded in September to $29.1 billion from $28.7 billion a month earlier. The government does not seasonally adjust that reading. The average price for imported oil rose in September to $98.88 per barrel, although the quantity of oil imports fell. Weekly claims slip. The number of Americans filing new claims for unemployment benefits fell last week, a sign the labor market's slow recovery was gaining traction although a severe storm distorted the data. Initial claims for state unemployment benefits dropped 8,000 to a seasonally adjusted 355,000, the Labor Department said. An analyst from the department said Superstorm Sandy, which slammed into the East Coast on October 29, boosted claims in some states by leaving people out of work, but also reduced claims in at least one state because power outages kept the state from collecting claim reports. Read more. Sandy torn Northeast deals with more wind, water. The impact of the storm is likely to be temporary. It was unclear if the storm's net effect was to boost or reduce claims, the analyst said. The storm could continue to affect the claims report for several more weeks, the analyst said. The storm killed at least 121 people in the United States and Canada and left more than 8 million homes and businesses without electricity in the Northeast. The 4-week moving average for jobless claims, which smooths out volatility, rose 3,250 to 370,500. Economists generally think a reading below 400,000 points to an increase in employment. The U.S. economy has recently shown some signs of health, with consumers spending more freely and home construction picking up. But business investment sank in the third quarter, a sign companies lack confidence in the strength of the economic recovery. Continuing claims for jobless benefits fell 135,000 in the week ended October 27 to a seasonally adjusted 3.127 million, the lowest level since July 2008, the Labor Department said.